There's the Sony HX90V. I couldn't wait. Before I pressed record, I already opened it and unboxed it. Anyways, I'll just show you a little bit of what's in it. Some documentation here. Comes with this USB cable. There's the camera, a little lens strap. Then charger for the battery, or for the camera to charge the battery. NP-BX1, common with a lot of other Sony cameras. There she is, right here. Now, I had already purchased the Sony WX500, and the WX500, it came out the same time as this 90V, and it's supposed to be identical with a few exceptions. And I had purchased the WX90V thinking that it was only $300, and this is about $400 something. So for $100 less, you get the same camera minus a few of the features. But having played around with the WX500, I realized that that's not the camera for me, because those features that lacks, that the HX90V has, was worth $100 more. And I will tell you those differences. The three major differences for me, for my uses as a hybrid video stills camera, portable video stills camera, that made the most difference to me, why I ditched the WX500 and got the 90V. Here are the three reasons. The first two are with the body design. With the body, they have identical body, but this one has a grip here, and the WX500 does not have a grip. And this grip makes a big difference when you're holding this tiny camera. Without this grip, there's a lot of slippiness, because it's a very sleek texture. So this grip makes a big difference. And then the second thing is this ring here. There is a ring that you could select for focus, to switching the apertures, for a bunch of other functions. So you have a functional ring that's silent over the lens. The WX500, you don't have that. Now, the third thing is internal. The big thing internally is that in video mode, you have full manual control over your aperture and shutter speed and ISO. The WX500, you have all the same, photography features, but for the video mode, it's on fully automatic. I don't know why, for just $100 less, you don't get that internal software, the manual control over video. But this you do, so I stuck with the 90V. Another external feature, like the big separator between the two, is this Oled pop-out viewfinder on the top. That's similar to the RX series. That's not in the WX500. To me, I don't really use it, so I didn't list that as my top three. But if I had to list a fourth thing, it would be this electronic viewfinder. So I already own Sony RX100 Mark III. I don't want to get the Mark IV yet, because I don't want 4K. I don't think I need 4K video just yet. But you can see with this Mark III, I modified it with a JB custom wood little grip here. This is not the original lens. This is not the original wrist strap. It's another one. And you can see it's a little sticky on my LCD screen. That's because I have a protector that I put on there. So put those aside. In comparing the RX100 series of cameras to the HV90s, the sensor is a big difference. That's what separates the men from the boys. And the aperture is also a big difference of the lens. The lens is a big difference in itself. This is a 24 to 70 millimeter lens from 1.8 to 2.8. This one is starts at a 24 and it goes to it's a 30 times optical zoom. It starts at a 3.5 millimeters and then it immediately starts stepping down to about a 5.6 when you're zoomed in all the way. So combined with the sensor and the lens, you get better low light, better images in clarity and crispness to a DSLR camera, or at least similar to another mirrorless Sony mirrorless cameras, Micro Four Thirds or APS-C size sensors. This one, you'll never compete with a DSLR or mirrorless camera because the sensor is just really small. But you get that long zoom when you need it, and when you're shooting outdoors in bright sunlight, these cameras are. It'd be a big test for the average eye to distinguish between the two cameras when you're shooting in bright light conditions. So you can see there, it's thick. This is the RX100 is thick. It's small. Like, don't get me wrong, the RX100 is one of the smallest, if not the smallest, professional high-end pocket camera. They don't get smaller than this with the amount of features packed into this camera. But the HV90 is, although the same length, much thinner than the RX100 Mark III, and probably the Mark II and the Mark I and the Mark IV. So this can go in your pants pocket. That's basically what I'm getting at. As far as the LCD screens go, this one, the RX100 series, or the 3 and the 4, they flip out like that and they extend, and you get this look here, this articulation. You can go not completely, when you're shooting all the way up, you can get that 45-degree angle, and you can get your selfie angle. But it's not the kind that flips out that way to the side and flips over. The HV90 and then also the WX500, it only flips up and goes 180 to get your selfie shot and for your vlog shot, whatever you want to do, use that facing you for. And it's a sturdy hinge. It doesn't come off, and it feels quite sturdy. So those are my first impressions of this HV90. I haven't got to shoot with it that much, just a little bit. And in low light, the RX100 Mark III outshines this HV90, but in bright sunlight conditions, I couldn't really tell the difference. Really, I think if you're a professional photographer or an advanced hobbyist or tech nerd like myself, you want to get the Rolls Royce, you want to get the Benz, you want to get the RX100 Mark III or Mark IV. You want to get the RX100 series because that's the top of the line. And even if you don't need it, you want to get it. Now, if you're just an average traveler or vlogger and you don't need a high-end compact, you need something that's better than the rest but not breaking your bank, the Sony HX90V seems to be the ticket so far. I can see this as a high value for vloggers, especially vloggers. That's who I'm really seeing this camera for. Especially travel vloggers. If you're a travel vlogger, man, this is hard to beat for the price. You can flip it out, you can do your videos, and the built-in mic, it doesn't have an external mic jack, but it has pretty good mics up here with some wind suppression filters, and it's portable, it's great. It shoots to XAVC-S. Make sure you have your XAVC-S cards. They come in the SDXC 64 gigabyte cards, and it should say XAVC-S on the packaging. That's why you'll know it'll play it. This one will record to 4K, but those are the kind of cards you need. You need high capacity cards to just shoot to the XAVC-S. even if it's the regular HD. Right now I'm just going to hold on to both of these cameras. I'm not going to sell the RX100 now that I have the HX90V. I see them as two different purposes. So when I'm traveling light and I don't really care about the quality, and I want a camera that can get everything. I want a long zoom. I want it, you know, wide angle shot. I want it to do good video in 1080, 30p, 60p, and 24p in the XAVC format. And you know, I want a versatile camera. And you know, if I lose this camera, I'm not gonna, you know, pull my hair, because although it was $400 something, it wasn't like $800 that I paid for this. So you know, that's a lot of advantages for and why I would use this camera. For the RX100, it's the camera that I'll take when I know I'm gonna shoot low light, or if I want a replacement for a DSLR or a temporary, you know, something that looks similar to it. I would use the RX100 series. So I'm going to keep both cameras. The best thing about having both cameras is that they both take the same battery. So I'm going to get a handful of these NP BX1 batteries, and I could use them for both cameras. Awesome.